Greetings, Bat family, and welcome back to Holy BatCast, brought to you by Real Fans for Real Movies. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for Holy BatCast, and you'll find us. And if you're a big fan of the show and you want to support us, you can do that on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/Holy BatCast. No pressure. But if you all want to do it, it really does help us out. It makes it that much easier to keep the show going. So a big, big thank you to our patrons. You guys are awesome. I hope you know that we appreciate you. We're part of the Real Fans Podcast Network. You can check out some of those other shows at rf4rm.com. And as always, I'm your Bat host, Andy DiGenova. You can find me on Instagram, Blue Sky, Letterboxd, and Threads. It's just my name, Andy DiGenova. And we're back, and we're going to do something that we haven't done in a little bit. We're just going to catch up on the DC news. There's stuff happening out there. We have not one, but two DC films now in production? Question mark? One of them, it's like days away if it's not in actual production. But anyway, they're both pretty much in production, which is exciting, which means we're learning things. Joining me for that fun, it's Brendan Lowe. Hey, Brendan.
How you doing?
I'm good. So it's the weekend. We are both exhausted from our little ones, and we just have to remember that we wanted this.
I tell you what. It's been a tough couple of months, but yesterday in particular was rough. I won't go into it. You know what happened, but yeah, it was a day.
I know. Yeah, there are ups and downs. Just remember, you're going to miss this.
Yeah, I know.
But aside from that, I'm excited that we found time this week to talk a little DC. It's fun that I feel like we're getting back into something of a rhythm with the show, after all the changes of my move and your new child and all the other things. So yeah, it's good to be back, and there's stuff happening around DC again, which is exciting. I mean, there's always stuff happening, but this is like real legit stuff worth talking about.
Yeah, some of it. Some of it we're going to talk about anyway.
well, we'll get to all that, but it's exciting nonetheless. Quick heads up though, next week's episode is already kind of recorded, so just for everybody out there listening, just want to give you all a heads up. Next week I got one ready to go because I'm going to go out of town for Memorial Day weekend, so I got a little something in the bank, but this week felt like the wrong week to release it. But the reason I'm telling you all this is because there will be a supplementary video for next week's episode on the YouTube channel. So please keep an eye on that. And if you haven't checked out the YouTube channel in a minute, please go do that, because I've been putting more stuff there. And, for next week's, I think you'll want to see what I got there.
Well, even I don't know what you're talking about, so
I can tell you because
Thanks
posted
for looping
photos.
In.
Yeah, I posted photos.
Oh, okay. Yep, I know what it is.
Yes. Yep. So Catherine and I did the Superman experience at WB. Right. And yes. And so we went and did it. And then when we got back, we talked about it for like an hour, that I'm going to have that ready for next week's episode. But then I also have video of the Superman experience that I will put on the YouTube channel for those of you who are like listening and like, well, I would love to see what you're talking about. You can do that.
Awesome.
So there you go. Something to look forward to for next week. But for this week, we're going to catch up on everything that's happening out there in the DC universe, but mostly movies and TV, because that's how it goes. So the first thing is that we are, oh my God, what is the date? We are 5 weeks, maybe 5.5 weeks away from the release of Supergirl, the big DC film of the summer. And so, marketing is really starting to ramp up. Allegedly, the Supergirl toys are out there in the wild. I haven't seen them yet, but I think it was Eric who saw them and sent pictures. I've seen other people post pictures that they found Superman and Lobo and some other things. So they're out there for anybody who is a collector. Not us. We're not toy collectors. I don't know who you're thinking of, but... but yeah, so Supergirl promotion is really kicking up, and there was a new poster, but it was an international poster. But it is worth mentioning because yes, it's Millie Alcock dead center as Supergirl in her outfit, but also with the trench coat. But on this poster, it also includes Ruth, who is kind of like her partner sidekick character who comes from the comic, and Lobo. So this is a threefer on this poster, and I didn't know if you had a chance to see this, Brendan, but it's cool to see them start to promote some of the other characters as well.
I haven't. I don't believe.
Well, real quick, type in Supergirl new international poster. I'm sure it will come up.
Let me have a look here. Just grab my phone.
Yeah, check that out. But yeah, I mean, really, it is.
You know what? I probably saw it and forgot about it. Let's have a look.
Probably. It's not earth-shatteringly different because it is the super logo, Supergirl / Superman logo in the back, but it's the more messy spray painted version they've been using for Supergirl. And then right in front is
okay.
Yeah. Is Millie Alcock as Supergirl with Lobo and Ruth.
I actually hadn't seen that. And a little puppy Crypto.
Yeah, little baby Crypto. Yeah. That's right. I forgot to mention baby Crypto.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I honestly, I hadn't seen that. I don't know how I missed it.
Yeah, it's very cool. It looks like it's from Japan.
Yeah.
I mean, it has it has like Japanese characters. I think they're Japanese characters and not Chinese characters, and I apologize if I'm wrong, but yeah, so it says Supergirl, but it also has the title in in another language that looks like Japanese to me. Who does not read Japanese. But anyway, it's fun. It was worth a mention. It is a new photo of Millie, even though it's very much in line with what we've already seen. And then again, Momoa as Lobo looks just absolutely perfect. He's sitting on his bike. He's got the chain in his hand. He looks like he's having a blast. So it's cool to see and worth the mention.
No, I like that. That's really cool.
Yeah. Looks very cool. So Supergirl, it'll be interesting to see especially over the next month. They're really going to ramp up the promotion. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. And I'm still really looking forward to it. I still also think I will not get to see it until like a week or two later because of the trip me and Catherine will be on.
That's all right. Like I said, it means I don't have to rush, or I'll have a chance to see it twice.
Yeah. I'm bummed. I don't like the idea of like it being like almost 2 weeks to see the new DC movie. That just doesn't feel right to me. But another DC movie that has been discussed, but like kind of forgotten. I'll be honest, I kind of forgot about it because it's one of those where it's like, really? And then is that real? Is that actually going to happen? And that is the Deathstroke and Bane movie.
Yep, I'd forgotten about it.
Until like I just said it, or until this news came out?
No, until we were talking about it in the group chat the other day, and I'm like, should have I known about this? Like, is this brand new information?
It's not new information, but it was like not part of the slate, which is why I think a lot of us forgot about it. It was mentioned in one of those updates, I think from James Gunn, where he's like, oh, and by the way, we're developing a Deathstroke Bane movie. And people went, oh, that could be cool. And that was like the last we heard about it until I think it was last week. Maybe it's more like 10 days ago. But anyway, we got the word that allegedly director Greg Mottola is in the running to direct the film. Now, it's still early. They haven't confirmed that the script is finished or anything like that, but that is the word, and it makes sense because he directed episodes of Peacemaker.
Okay.
He also directed, and I did not realize this. I knew the name, but I couldn't remember why. But he also directed Superbad and
geez, that's going back.
Yeah, and the Day Trippers. So yeah, like he has an interesting resume. But the Peacemaker thing makes all the sense in the world. Obviously, he and James Gunn get along, and so I'm like, oh, that would make sense if this goes forward. That he would hire someone he already works with and already trusts. So as far as a director goes, I'm like, great, that is fine with me. I'm down with that. I just am like, I don't know. I can't picture a Bane Deathstroke movie because to me, I mean, listen, there's a lot of comics out there and I don't pretend to have read them all, but I just have never put Bane and Deathstroke together. Maybe I'm missing something.
And something I wanted to mention too, just to go back a step, is you're talking about how it wasn't part of the slate, and we must, that's why people haven't forgotten about it. Is the original slate even important anymore?
Not really. Nope.
No, I think it's all that's null and void. Superman and Supergirl were obviously part of it, and the Lantern show, but we've had we're getting so many more things now that aren't part of it, and other things that are just, even James Gunn is like, yeah, that's not moving forward. It's like, yeah, I was never in love with that original slate anyway. So yeah, I'm kind of happy with the way things are going, with just things that feel naturally like a progression. That's what's moving forward. But yeah, Bane and Deathstroke, I don't know. I don't know.
I am intrigued, much like a Clayface movie. I'm intrigued. I absolutely, could be excited for this once it starts becoming more real. And there's casting and we start seeing things for real. I'm down. It's just, to me, again, a really interesting combination of characters that I would not have naturally put together. But I'm willing to roll with it. It says here, and this is from Deadline, that there was an initial screenplay. It was written by Matthew Orton, who also wrote Moon Knight on Disney Plus. But they would assume that, as things move forward, that there will be rewrites, as there usually are. So anyway, very interesting. Like, again, this is just such a wild card, and I'm sure that the success or failure of Clayface will certainly contribute to whether or not this becomes a thing.
Yeah, see, and this is the thing, like, Clayface, okay, when that was announced, it's like, okay, well, that's a little bit random, but then the whole pitch of it being, this body horror thing, and it's coming out, it's a horror movie. So it's not, I mean, obviously, to me, it's more like I say, a horror version of Joker. But this one's actually going to be set in the universe. But I do think it's, it's not going to feel like a Batman movie at all. It's just going to be this like body horror, meant for horror fans, coming out at Halloween. And that's what it is, and that's cool. But when you start going into like Bane and Deathstroke and stuff like that, it's just like, I messaged this to you the other day privately. It's just like, if the Matt Reeves Batman movies are the reason why Brave and the Bold isn't, moving forward at the pace we'd like, and we're going to get this sort of these, for lack of a better term, placeholder movies of movies set in Gotham that don't feature Batman, I'm not going to be happy. But also, and I didn't say to you, it's just like, I don't want the Batman universe in this new continuity to kind of be like what Sony have tried to do with Spider-Man, where they throw all these other characters at the wall, and just because they're from the same comic book world, expect them to be these massive hits, and they're not, and they're kind of crap. That's my fear. I mean, I know it's only been Clayface and this potential, and Clayface we haven't seen, but this potential, Deathstroke and Bane, it's just like, but why? I mean, if it was a Batman movie and the villains were Deathstroke and Bane, oh, Jesus, sign me up yesterday. Like, because as I said to you, it's like, okay, cool, it's Bane and Deathstroke, but who are they going to fight? Who's the bad guy? Like, I don't want to really be rooting for Bane and Deathstroke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I think that's totally fair. And I do agree with you. If like they've put Brave and the Bold off to the side because of the Batman Part 2, and they're like, well, so this is our into the Batman universe in the main DCU is we'll do these side characters, because we don't want to have competing Batman projects. Yeah, that's a bummer, especially for those of us who are looking forward to Batman being in the new DCU. That does kind of suck. So I'm, if I put that to the side though, I'm like, listen, Clayface, I was intrigued by the announcement. And then when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, all right, that looks really good. And I definitely could foresee the same thing happening here. It's a weird choice. I don't know why they put Deathstroke and Bane together. To your point, is it just them against each other, or are they gonna, are they partners and against two? Then what does that mean? Yeah, like it raises a lot of questions of what this movie could be. And I'm with you, but I am totally open to being won over because, they could cast it and start shooting and it could look awesome. And then I could be totally into it. So I just don't know. It's just it is just an odd choice, all things considered.
Yeah. But look, we'll see. Because, there's that Titans movie in development as well. And yeah, it's just, and then to me, like that, again, it feels like the Titan show. Like, and look, the Titan show was great, but it gets to the point where it's like, well, you can't not have Superman and Batman because they're part of that world and they're in the animated show. It's yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. Yeah, same. But again, if Mottola is the guy who gets the job in the director's chair, I think that is a cool choice. I have no issue with that. And the fact that of all the projects, this is the one where we start getting buzz about who might be making it. It lends some credence, right? There could be some fire with that smoke. And I think that it was James Gunn. Someone asked him about like, oh, well, what's going to go into production next? And he said, oh, the next thing is almost ready. And it makes you wonder, oh, is it this? Because obviously they're talking to someone about directing. We don't know what goes into production film wise after this.
No, we don't. I don't think so.
Right? Like, where they're in production on Man of Tomorrow, they're in production on the Batman Part 2, they're in post-production on Clayface, and Supergirl's about to come out, but we don't know what happens next, and it'll just be interesting to see. And it made me go, oh, maybe it's this, because they're talking to someone about directing.
Time will tell, my friend.
Yeah. Well, movies aside, we are going to get some additional classic heroes in the DC universe in live action later this summer. So we'll have Supergirl in June, but less than 2 months later in August, we are going to get Lanterns, which continues to be a sensitive subject with some fans. But the showrunner, Chris Mundy, did an interview with Entertainment Weekly where he tried to allay some of those fears, but also being pretty honest about what the show is. And much like many of the past statements and conversations around Lanterns, it really feels like he's kind of talking out of both sides of his mouth, where it's like, it is Green Lantern. We love the mythology. We love the characters, but it's grounded. It's True Detective. But don't worry, there's plenty of green. The constructs are exactly what you would expect. But also, it's not intergalactic and blah, 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 blah. So anyway, you can read the whole interview on Entertainment Weekly. It is worth reading. And he talked a lot about like just kind of the fun and the appeal of the Green Lantern mythology and what they can do with the constructs and what they can do with the rings. And all that's great. Because honestly, everything he talks about as far as the mythology goes, he's certainly done his homework. He knows the world, he knows what they can do, he knows about the characters, so all that I found very encouraging. But then again, here are a couple things that he says. He said, we wanted to tell an on-the-ground story, and that has a couple of different mysteries inside it. What we have going for us is the Green Lantern story. They can conjure anything from the ring. They do go off planet. There's all these other powers that they have. We want to use everything that's great about the mythology of the Green Lanterns, but at the same time, we wanted it to feel like an upscale mystery, a very emotionally tangible story about these people that are in it. So you get what I'm saying? Kind of feels like a little bit of a tug of war there.
A little bit. Yeah. Yeah. And this came up in our group chat the other day too. And how they're just we could have done a whole trailer of green. It's like, well, why didn't you show some more of that?
I do feel like the trailer was the first trailer, and that already is a couple months old, right?
Yes.
Leading to August. You would even call it a teaser. And so I do wonder if they're like, it's a teaser, everyone just be patient. And you know how good the superhero nerds are about being patient. And I feel like everybody kind of was like, no, where is the Green Lantern in this Green Lantern show? And I get it. I am one of those people. I get it. And I do get the impression from some of these things and these conversations and what we hear from them is they're like, just wait. Just wait. Let us get there. And so I feel like there's a little bit of like damage control happening, but at the same time, they seem confident in what they have. So it is, I get the concern, but I also am holding out hope that it's like, yeah, let's just wait. Let's wait till we get a real trailer. I do think that when we get the next trailer, there is probably going to be more of that in it because they saw the reaction to the last trailer. And I hope so. Because I am cautiously excited, but I understand the nerves, but I want to be just excited. I don't want to have to caveat my excitement for Lanterns. And I think that a lot of fans feel the same way. Anyway, let me share a couple other things that he says, and then we can keep chatting. He says, we're talking about Sinestro, and about how Sinestro factors in. And he said, obviously in the canon, Sinestro's the big bad. The thing that interests us is the idea that Hal was trained by Sinestro, and now Hal is training John. So in the coaching tree, they're very interested in what gets passed on and what doesn't. How much is human nature? We talked a lot about programming and parenting and training. What did Hal take away from Sinestro that was good or bad? And it brings up a lot of interesting worries. And I guess the whole crux is that, yes, Hal is training John, but he's training John just in case something were to happen. So it's not like they're not two. And again, once you then watch the teaser again, you go, oh, that makes sense. He talked a little bit about the structure of the show. I guess there are two timelines in the show. So you were following a story in 2016, and then you were following the present story of 2026 and the 10 years in between. Apparently the 10 years in between is where like Superman takes place and things like that.
Okay.
He said, so eventually it's two different mysteries that get worked over the course of the show. The 10-year gap. Yep. That's where Superman takes place. And he talks about Guy Gardner. He confirms that Guy, who is fabulously obnoxious, will be in the show a few different times. He did say that it's designed as a multi-season show. Should they get the opportunity to do more, that more Lantern pop-ins could be in the cards. And then as far as visual effects, he said there's plenty in it, but he said it's to the medium to low side, but there's plenty in it. There are a couple episodes where the effects are incredibly heavy, but from the jump, it's a more boots on the ground approach. And he said it's a Green Lantern show, so there's green. So talking about the controversy of no green in the trailer, he said the aesthetic of the show, it's supposed to be very grounded and real. We're shooting practically in places. We're not using green screens. It's not Dayclo in the presentation of anything. I think Green Lantern fans will not feel like we've somehow made a brown show of their green comic. It's very much we're in the world. And then when we use the constructs, they're what people would expect them to be. And then he said what you said, which is we could have put out a trailer that was tremendously green. So the fact that people are talking about it just means to me that they're excited about the show. We have a lot of respect for the source material. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing the show. I think when people see it, it won't be a controversy.
Yeah, I can. I don't know if the chatter is directly translates to excitement.
Excitement's the wrong word. It is interest.
Yes.
There is strong interest.
Because when I read that the other day, I'm like, I probably would have chosen a different word there, but
I get what he's saying, and again, I think what's happening is the fans feel like I feel, which is they're like, listen, I want to be excited without reservation. And from what we're seeing and what we're hearing, it's like, we're like, oh, I just hope this works. I hope it's good. I hope that they're not afraid of the Green Lantern of it all. Right. And I'm glad they're hearing that. And again, I want to believe them when they say, once you see the show, it's not going to be a controversy. I'm like, great. I hope you're right.
Mm-hmm. Look, obviously, we're going to be watching it when it drops. So, yeah. Do we know if this is going to be a week by week show? Isn't it? That's how HBO do things. Hey, they don't do a full drop.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, listen, man, I just watched 8 episodes of a show called Wonder Man where he never becomes Wonder Man. So
I just watched 7 episodes of Yaya and Man on Fire on Netflix, and I'm telling you, if you like Yaya, check it out. It's really good. I've watched all 7 episodes in the last couple of days. It's great.
Well, great. I do love Yaya.
Then you should definitely check out that show. It's so good.
Yeah. I mean, it was part of the reason I watched Wonder Man. He was great in it. Don't get me wrong. He was great in it. I have very mixed feelings on that show because it's a good show. It just, there's no Wonder Man in that show. And I don't want to be saying the same thing about Lanterns. And I think that's the fear is like when this comes out, people go, yeah, it's a good show. The actors are great. I just want it to be a Green Lantern show. And I just don't want it to be that. Anyway, we shall see. I also appreciate the note that Guy will pop up, and we already knew he was going to pop up, but the fact that he's going to pop up multiple times, I think that's cool. And I think that I want to say Joe has said the same thing, which is like, listen, this is also a universe where Guy Gardner from Superman is in it, so it can't be too afraid of Green Lantern.
Yeah,
like
it's true. Yeah.
so it gives
Look,
me
I'm
hope.
taking them at their word. I am, but it's just, yeah, it's. I hope it's good. I hope they're going to give the fans what they want. But I think the problem is what the fans want is they don't want a grounded Green Lantern set on Earth. They want it to go intergalactic and essentially be set intergalactic. And look, maybe it's one of those things they need to do this for the first season. And if it's a really successful show, then they can up the budget for the next season and can afford to do more special effects stuff. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Again, time will tell.
Hey everybody, it's Andy from the future. I wanted to pop in real quick because, as luck would have it, we finished recording this episode and not 12 hours later, or maybe exactly 12 hours later, they announced that a new Lanterns trailer is coming on Monday morning. So, damn it, we just missed our window. That's okay, these things happen, but it's funny because a lot of the things we talked about, we're about to find out, especially because just the little tease for the new trailer, there's some green in it. There's some constructs. I think they're listening to us, but we will find out very shortly. But if you're listening to this and going, hey, why couldn't you have waited just a day? It's because we didn't know. It's how these things happen. Anyway, so we're going to talk about that Lanterns trailer next time. I'm hoping we have much more excitement to share then, but I thought I would at least address it now. Anyway, with all that said, let's get back to the show. Well, I mean, the good thing is the universe does keep moving forward, at least for now. And that's because they're well into production on Man of Tomorrow.
Now, this I am excited for.
Yeah. I will tell you, yes, it is what I am most excited for.
Yes,
if
same.
I'm being honest.
Same.
And so we're starting to get stuff. James Gunn has been sharing some photos like on set. There have been photos of Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, still in prison, but looking like maybe he's getting out of prison. I think there was a shot of, oh God, what's his name? Rick Flag Sr. What's his name?
Oh,
you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm blanking. Rick Flag Sr. Grillo, Frank Grillo.
Yes.
A picture of him, all buff, and it's like, oh, ready to shoot a big action scene with him, and yeah, just little tidbits. But it's exciting to know that, the movie is out there shooting and it's coming together, which is great. So as that's happening, fans have been asking on, I think Threads is where Gunn tends to be these days, says, how's filming going for Man of Tomorrow? And he said beautifully and unstintingly. And so they've been in production now for about a month, maybe just shy, which is exciting. They also announced some new cast members for Man of Tomorrow, and that keeps growing. So Adria Arjona has joined the cast, and she is the one who, we don't know who she's playing. The common internet theory seems to be that she is playing Maxima, which, okay, great. Again, that feels very James Gunn. I know that a lot of fans are like, yeah, but wouldn't it be better if she was Wonder Woman? And yeah, probably. But so we got confirmation of her, and we'll see who she ends up playing. There was also, oh my gosh, what's his name?
It's like
Cinquo. Oh no, we're getting there. Cinquo Walls. Cinquo Walls has also joined. He is from Carry On and Friday Night Lights and The Blackening. We don't know who he is playing, so I've seen some speculation over who he could possibly be. I know that one of those guesses was Martian Manhunter, but I do think that that's just fans being like, every time a new actor gets cast, they assume it's a famous marquee character, where it could be just as much that Cinquo is now a new reporter at the Daily Planet. Who knows?
It's the Scoot McNairy of it all.
Exactly. Let's call it the Scoot effect. And then what you were just jumping to was Matthew Lillard.
Yes, this I am excited about. I don't care who he's playing.
I am so happy for the resurgence of Matthew Lillard. I love to see it. He was great in Daredevil. He's always great. And I love that he is going to be in Man of Tomorrow. And he's another one. We don't know who he's playing. I have seen fans say Plastic Man, and I would be so into that.
That would be great. That would be absolutely awesome.
It would be so perfect, but I'm not holding my breath because, again, he could be He could be anyone. He's not necessarily a superhero or a supervillain. He could be anyone. We just don't know. But once I saw someone say, "Oh, Plastic Man," I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna be really sad if that's
Yeah, if
not
it's
it."
not,
But
it's like
but
Superman, how we knew when Ultraman took the mask off who it was going to be, but because of all the
Mhm.
fan theories and stuff and things we'd talked about, it was like, oh man,
I know, like of course that's who it was gonna be, but but yeah. So anyway, I'm excited to see whatever Matthew Lillard does, and we'll see who he ends up playing. But yeah, I mean, I know that the odds of a Plastic Man is like 5%, but I still would freaking love it.
yeah. Like I've always really liked Matthew Lillard, obviously since seeing Scream as a kid. Um, and this is to not say the work he's been doing isn't good because but I've always just thought like you deserve more than just being the new voice of Shaggy. Like, and there's
Yes, agreed.
nothing wrong with being the voice of Shaggy. He does an amazing job. And from what I heard, like Casey Kasem, it was his pick to take over. Like he wanted Matthew Lillard to take over the job.
Yeah.
And yeah, he does. And look, I've been getting Scooby Doo up the wazoo the last couple of months because Henry's become obsessed. So I've heard a lot of Matthew Lillard as Shaggy, and he's great. But yeah, I've always just like, man, you still deserve to be like seen on camera in really solid roles and big movies and things. And you know, I'm glad it's finally starting to happen because he was in like Life of Chuck last year as well. And
Yeah.
he was amazing in that. It's a shame it was only one scene.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm here for the Matthew Lillard renaissance.
Me too. I mean, Five Nights at Freddy's, those aren't great movies, but he's in them. And
Mm,
then, like I said, the new season of Daredevil, which was great, by the way, he was in that. And when he showed up, like I knew he was going to be in it, but he shows up and he's just so freaking good. And yeah, I'm like well, Matthew Lillard just killing it. Good for him. I love it. And so yeah, I hope that whatever the role is he gets, it is something awesome because I know he's going to do something awesome with it. But I did find an article on Superhero Hype where they speculated 5 different characters that Matthew Lillard could be playing. It's
oh,
all in
good.
fun. It's all in fun, of course. But I like some of these options. Number one, Toy Man.
Okay, yeah,
That that could be cool. I think he'd be a really good Toy Man. The Prankster, which maybe, but Prankster's like pretty obscure, but I could
yeah.
definitely see it. Ambush Bug is so insanely obscure.
Wow.
But again, like Ambush Bug is the kind of thing that James Gunn would put in a movie. Plastic Man, of course, which I think is the best choice, obviously.
Hmm.
And then Alec Holland / Swamp Thing. If they wanted to start seeding Swamp Thing, that one I feel feels like the biggest swing. I don't know about that,
Yeah, I don't know.
but hey, all options. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. I just love that he's in the movie.
Mm. I mean, he could be. This is like a bit of a stretch, but if he played really dark and twisted and stuff, and he's kind of got the look for it too. Like he could be a great Jonathan Crane.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
I think it's amazing.
and even
Let's get some
something
more Batman villains in here.
even something it's maybe front of mind given what's coming later in the episode, but like Ragdoll, he's got that lanky, stretchy look about him. Like Ragdoll could be another one as well. It's a bit more obscure, but he'd be good
Yeah,
at
I
that too.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, he could do almost anything. It'll just be interesting to see what he ends up doing, but I think it's
Mm.
cool.
He'll probably have
I
like a
mean,
Jenna Malone style role from
right,
BVS,
right,
but actually
exactly.
in the theatrical cut of the movie.
Yep. So anyway, that's really cool. And then the last little Man of Tomorrow thing is while they're shooting, allegedly Millie Alcock has been sighted out there on set. So we all assumed
I
that
mean,
Supergirl was going to show up, but
you
it
kind
seems
of
like
have
that is.
to, don't you? If this
I
is
think
like
so.
the third Superman movie in as many years, or super movie in as many years, you kind of have to get them together.
I mean, and that does feel pretty awesome. It feels like a super family movie, right?
Yes,
And I
yeah.
think that's really exciting because we loved Superman. I'm really hoping to love Supergirl, but I love that as like natural progression of the universe and especially of that franchise of like, and maybe that's why he keeps saying, well, it's not a Superman sequel, which it obviously is, but maybe he's saying that because like it's not just Superman's movie, it's Superman, Lex, Supergirl, and then he's continuing to fold in the larger DC universe. And I think that's really exciting to, you know, to really blow up the universe.
And look, I'm going to talk out both sides of my mouth here because obviously we want Brave and the Bold tomorrow. You know, we want that movie made and it to be awesome and everything. But I do appreciate the fact that you know, they're sort of taking their time to give Superman and his world the flowers it deserves that it maybe hasn't had, you know, cinematically for a very, very long time. Because I mean, we all know DCEU, like it was Man of Steel, was amazing, but they had to jump to Batman. Like they wanted to sort of pull that emergency ripcord and get Batman in there ASAP, for better or for worse. You know, that just depends on your opinion. But I still feel that Cavill deserved a second solo movie before introducing Batman and other characters. But you know, this is kind of cool. Like just letting the super brand have the limelight for a little while, and like I said, the flowers it probably hasn't gotten for a very long time.
Right. Well, and I completely forgot. I'm looking at this. Is that Jon Stewart is also in this? Aaron Pierre from Lanterns is also.
Oh yes, he is too. Yeah.
So again, like that's the kind of stuff where I'm like, gives me hope about Lanterns. I'm like, well, it's gonna segue into freaking Man of Tomorrow, so it's got to be, it's got to be somewhat, you know, stylistically conducive to that. So I mean, yeah, I mean, you're thinking Superman, Supergirl. Again, Supergirl is not confirmed, but probably. You got Green Lantern. You have Maxima or Wonder Woman. Like, you know, I would imagine Mr. Terrific's back. I don't know if that's been confirmed, but I would imagine he's back as well, and some of the other folks from Superman. So, I mean, odds of Lobo popping up are probably pretty good. So, yeah, it just feels like a, you know, continuing to grow the family, which is cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. But I think, I mean, that's why I'm so excited for it. Again, I really liked Superman. So I'm excited to see what comes next. And I'm excited to see how the universe evolves because it feels like Man of Tomorrow is very deliberately expanding that universe. And I think that's great.
Yep. No, it's already my most anticipated movie of next year. So,
well, there's another DC movie currently in production that's also supposed to come out next year.
Yes.
So we are finally ramping up production on the Batman Part 2. And so again, like the first images that Matt Reeves shared, it said some people reported them as camera tests, which is why I go, I don't know if they're in full production or not, but they're obviously shooting something, right? So we'll start there. And it was the first reveal / announcement, whatever, coming from Matt Reeves, who has been awfully quiet for 5 years now. What? Yes.
I know. It's just carry on.
Like I think I said it on a recent episode where I was like, remember how he was like super active when the Batman was ramping up production and like I'm like, why have we not gotten any of that while he was
waiting? I know. I'm just reading between the lines what you said. That's all. That's what made it funny to me.
I don't know what you're talking about. And so yes, he I guess it was on X. He tweeted out on X a couple little shots, and it's hashtag snow tires with a bat, and it is images of the Batmobile, and it is the same Batmobile from the Batman, but driving what appears quickly in the snow. So that is like the first real thing from the Batman Part 2 that we got, and that was again a week ago, maybe not.
Yeah, around then.
Week and a half ago. And so there you have it. And someone asked, is this testing for the Batman 2? And Matt Reeves said, sure is. So again, he said testing for the Batman as opposed to actually like shooting the movie. Anyway. I'm sorry. This article, this article posted a couple tweet reactions, and one of them was like, my biggest dream is to see Batman in the snow. And I'm like, There have been multiple movies
Two
with Batman.
movies. Yeah, well, three actually.
There have been 2 live action, right? 2 live action movies of Batman.
Well, 3.
Or are you thinking of what's the third?
Because you've got Batman Returns,
Yeah.
Batman and Robin,
Oh,
and
yeah,
Dark
yeah,
Knight Rises.
And Dark Knight Rises. Yep.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, is this person like 10 that they don't know that there have been other Batman movies in the snow? But that's insane. Anyway, so
I did think it was funny the way people like fist bumping and yes, and I'm just like, it looks exactly the same as the first one, except there's a bit of snow. Like, okay, and it like people directly jumping to Mr. Freeze. It's like, did you see the first movie? Like, I cannot see Mr. Freeze working in this universe. I'm sorry, I just no.
I mean, from the 2 shots, it seems like he also saved that GoPro that he stuck to the side of the Batmobile for most of that scene.
Yeah.
So that's great. Yeah, so listen, man, I'm a sucker for Batman in the snow as well, and Gotham in the snow, so I think that's cool. No pun intended, or maybe it is. I don't know. So yeah, Gotham in the snow, great. I am bummed that we're getting the same car again. He had every opportunity to improve the Batmobile, and he's not. I'm like, dude, I mean, man, you had my daughter's entire lifetime to build a new car, and y'all didn't. So that's a bummer. That's just the same car again. And for me, I mean, I think when it came up, I was like, I think the biggest bummer is if the first image we get just looks like the first movie. That's going to be disappointing, and that's kind of exactly what happened. Is like, oh yeah, this pretty much could be from the first movie,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But for those who love the first movie, they're like, great, I get it again. So cool.
Yeah. I got nothing else to add.
That's it. That's all you got.
I just want to talk about the Variety post from a couple of days ago. And please let me read it. The Variety post they shared the other day, and I really want to read it.
If you've got it handy, go for it. That's what I got up next.
Okay, I've got it handy. So I know what they were going for, but the way it read, and I said as much on the post, was the dumbest shit I have read in a long time. So this is word for word. The Batman 2, and this is in capitals, confirmed cast. Robert Pattinson as Batman. Sebastian Stan as Harvey Dent. Not fully confirmed. Scarlett Johansson as Gilda Dent. Not fully confirmed. Charles Dance as Christopher Dent. Not fully confirmed. Sebastian Coe, TBA. Brian T. Henry, TBA. Andy Serkis as Alfred. Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Jeffrey Wright as Jim Gordon. Is it Jamae Lawson as Mayor Bella Royale. And Jill Perez Abraham as Officer Martinez. So for a confirmed cast list, there's a lot of not confirmed and TBAs in there. Now, I know they're just saying that the cast is confirmed, not who they're playing. But as I said, the way it read is like, you guys know what confirmed means? Like, there was a lot of comments of people going like, what? Like, confirmed but not confirmed? What are you talking about? It was laughably stupid.
So the reason it's been quote unquote confirmed is that Matt Reeves is essentially doing a version of what he did last time, which he is tweeting out GIFs of the cast members from other stuff and being like, welcome to Gotham, Scarlett Johansson, welcome to Gotham, Sebastian Stan, but not saying the roles they're playing this time. The first time, he at least said the names of the roles, but this time not so much, which is obviously the unconfirmed part. But it is anticlimactic because we already knew all of this. like Scarlett Johansson, they announced in January, 5 months ago. We've known Scarlett Johansson was going to be in this for 5 months. Sebastian Stan wasn't far after that. I feel like we've known about him for 4 months. So it's just funny where it's like, we know. Like Charles Dance, I think
Charles Dance. I'm like, well, that's cool. Like,
but that was that was announced a few weeks ago. So again, it's like, okay, great. And like, sure, now it's coming from the director and not a trade. Sure. But it's like, but if you're going to quote unquote announce it, Matt Reeves, why would you not actually give us who they're playing?
Mm.
That's just so yeah. I'm like, okay, like great. You know, a lot of these are good people. Don't get me wrong. Like we talked about it when Scarlett Johansson was cast. I like her. I like her in pretty much everything I've seen her in. So great. Like jumping in the DC side of the street, cool. I'm down for that. You know, Sebastian Stan, I like him. Jumping to the other side of the street, cool. You know, I could actually see him as a good Harvey Dent. I'm not really worried about that. So great, but yeah, it's hard to get too excited where it's like, hey, you know that thing you've known for months? It's true. Okay, great, good. But what's interesting, and you mentioned it quickly, but I wanna bring it up again, is that you know some of these people, their roles were not. Well, none of the roles were confirmed. In fact, like we don't even know if Robert Pattinson is playing Batman. We don't know that. It's not confirmed. Anyway, Sebastian Coe, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Who is a German actor who appeared in A Good Day to Die Hard. I'm not familiar with him. I guess fans are going, he must be Mr. Freeze.
Sure.
And again, I was like, listen, Gotham in the Snow is great. I'm into it. That does not automatically mean Mr. Freeze. And so I am seeing, like, again, I don't go on Twitter anymore, but like, I'll go on Threads on occasion and I'll still see stuff or Instagram where I see people like being like, oh, Mr. Freeze, can't wait. And I'm like, listen, if they announce Mr. Freeze for this, I will be intrigued. I love Mr. Freeze. Don't get me wrong. But I'm like, I just like, let's not put the cart in front of the horse. I just don't think it's all that likely
No,
because
there are
what we
4
do
seasons
know
every year. Like it's going to snow in
Yeah.
Gotham at least once a year.
What we do know is that this is going to be very Harvey Dent and Dent family focused. And so to me, it feels like it's going to be the fall of Harvey Dent, you know, like, and maybe there is a story to tell that overlaps with Mr. Freeze somehow. And if so, cool. Can't wait to see how that happens. I just feel like that just doesn't feel like the direction they're going, with the exception of the fact that there was snow in the camera test.
Mm. And the fall of Harvey Dent in a Batman sequel, I can't wait to see that.
Never been done.
No.
Nope. Never been done. So yeah, so the casting, it's like, again, like the ramping up, great. It's nice to see, you know, Matt Reeves sharing the excitement and everything. It's just like, I'm waiting for some real info. But because it was announced, Sebastian Stan actually commented on it.
Okay, I haven't seen this.
Yeah. Where was that? He was promoting his new film, Fjord. He was, of course, asked about the Batman, and he's speaking to Deadline. He said, the sequel is a challenge like everything else. I feel it's a really ambitious movie, and I think if we do it all right, obviously I'm so excited about Matt Reeves because he's been one of my favorites for a long time. I really think it's going to blow people away. It's going to surprise a lot of people too. And in this thing, again, they're saying he's playing Harvey Dent, which again, like, listen, I'm sure that's 99% likely, but I don't think that's ever been truly confirmed. But the way this article says it is just kind of assumed. Like, oh, nope, they did say reportedly. Okay, I'll give them credit. They said reportedly. The way I read it as if like, oh, he's definitely playing Harvey Dent. So anyway, nice to hear he's excited. And again, you know, Sebastian Stan as Harvey Dent, I think is good casting.
Yeah, look, I agree with you there. The cast in these movies isn't my problem.
No, I know. But anyway, that's what we got for the Batman Part 2 right now, except for the bigger picture is that like it is moving forward. They are shooting, whether it's for testing or whether it's actually going to be in the movie. You know, they're announcing the cast. And so more information is to come. It'll just be interesting to see like what they share when, you know, is this Mr. Freeze thing a pipe dream just from fans, or is there actually something there? And if so, I would be very interested to see how a Mr. Freeze story also is a Harvey Dent story. And I think that could be interesting. So anyway, we shall see, but the Batman Part 2 is finally moving forward.
Yep. And look, it's no secret how we feel about this universe, but yeah, look, I'll be there. You know I will. Like, I'll be there opening weekend at the very least. Maybe not opening day, but but definitely the first couple of days, I'll be checking it out. So, F me, right?
I will, I'll let you know.
I'll be hosting the review episode solo.
Yeah, get Jamie out of retirement. You guys chat. It'll be fun. So anyway, it'll be very interesting to see how this develops. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be some like hard left turn into something else. It's like Matt Reeves likes what he's doing, and to me, the Penguin just confirmed that. It's like, no, this is the world we're in. Like they proudly called it what, a crime saga. And so again, like a crime saga to me doesn't say Mr. Freeze.
No. And like I've said before, like for what it's worth, like I really enjoyed the Penguin show and I didn't miss Batman once. So that speaks volumes.
So anyway, more as it develops, but it is indeed Batman news and we'll see how it goes. That's what I got for the big DC news, Brendan, unless there's something you can think of that I missed. All right, great. All right. Well, you mentioned earlier, or did we mention it? You kind of sort of did, is that we did watch another episode of the Batman. I just said
something coming up that had Ragdoll in it, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned Ragdoll, which is, the Batman. So here we go. We're going to keep on going into season 4 of the Batman. All right, season 4, episode 2 of the Batman, Team Penguin. This one was directed by Anthony Chun. It was written by Joseph Kerr, and it aired on September 30th of 2006. So, we mentioned Ragdoll. There are a lot of villains in this one because the Penguin goes to the movies. He's watching, it looks like a variation on like the A-Team. Something like that.
Yeah, like a team heist movie and an Ocean's movie, Italian Job, that kind of thing, yeah.
And there was a fun little switcheroo where like you think that the crime being committed on screen is happening in Gotham and then it cuts to the movie theater and you see that the Penguin's just watching the movie. But he gets a great idea. He's like, yeah, teams, man, teams can do anything. Wait a minute. What if I had a team? Maybe that's the secret to bringing down Batman. So he puts together his own super team. So it is not just the Penguin. It is also Killer Croc, Bane, Ragdoll, Killer Moth, and Firefly. And we never actually see Bane with the team because the Bane is like immediately taken out by Batman, Robin, and Batgirl. And so now there's an opening on the team, which is why Killer Moth ends up joining. But so it's kind of Team Penguin and then like, let's be honest, a bunch of B-listers. And they even kind of say something like that where he's like looking through other people like Mr. Freeze and Joker, but none of them wanted to join.
He said they already said no.
Yeah, they said no. So it's all the people who would say yes. So Killer Croc, Ragdoll, Firefly, and then Killer Moth is the one who wants that last spot now that Bane gets captured. At the same time, we learned in the last episode, now we've got a Robin. And so this episode is Batgirl realizing that Batman now has a Robin, now has another partner. And so there's a little bit of jealousy, family rivalry between Batgirl and Robin. And she feels a little betrayed because he seemed to take Robin right in, and Robin's been to the Batcave, and Robin's been getting trained, and Batgirl had to fight for all of that stuff. So you've got the Team Penguin, and then you've got the Bat Team all working out their differences. So the Team Penguin is like trying to do their thing, take out Batman, commit crimes. They've got some sort of evil plan. I'll be honest, it's a little fuzzy, not because I'm stupid, but because my kids are running around being loud. And I was like, I don't know, they're doing something.
They needed to steal this chemical to use it as a solvent to get into this safe in like the richest man in Gotham thing. And then of course, then the thing that Penguin wants to steal is like a diamond encrusted bird.
Yes, that's right. They wanted the solvent to get into the super valuable bird because I think it's Croc who's like, birds, there's always a bird with you, which I thought was pretty fun.
Next time it can be an alligator.
Yep. And so because of that, yeah, like they're doing it, and Killer Moth is kind of like almost
He's
like
the
a
lackey.
mascot. Yeah, he's the lackey. He's getting them coffee. And I do appreciate like the take on Killer Moth where he's kind of pathetic, and they even have like a very overt Napoleon Dynamite reference where they're like, Killer Moth, like what kind of skills do you have? He's like, well, I have all kinds of skills. I have, I have stealth skills. I have fighting skills. So yeah, he's just sort of
Very
pathetic.
2006.
Yeah. I thought it was funny though, because I always thought that like Killer Moth and Firefly were very redundant. And
Yeah,
so if you already got Firefly, like I like the idea of Killer Moth just being kind of useless. But he doesn't stay useless because of this. He has to go pick up the chemical. They send him on the errand, and the chemical gets out and ends up transforming him into a giant mutant moth. And that leads to like a big showdown with giant Killer Moth and the rest of the team versus Batman, Robin, and Batgirl. And, Robin and Batgirl eventually end up back at the Batcave. There is a great moment where like Batman just takes off his mask, and Barbara goes, oh, Bruce Wayne, I knew it. And she goes, that must mean you're Dick Grayson. And Robin takes off his mask, and he's like, okay, then who are you? And she's like, hey, I'm not, you need to earn my trust. And Bruce goes, it's Barbara Gordon, which I thought was great.
The commissioner's kid. Yeah, I'll wait till you go to me, but yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was a great moment. I just didn't want to forget about it. So they're in the Batcave, and Robin and Batgirl are trying to train together. But yeah, again, there's a lot of rivalry, little sibling bickering, if you will. But in the big finale, as Batman, Robin, and Batgirl are taking out the team, Robin and Batgirl start working together and eventually kind of come to a fun understanding where they realize, oh, hey, like you help me do this, I help you do that. And then they start bickering again. But at least now they're all on the same side. So they managed to stop Penguin and Team Penguin, and then find a way to work together. And so now you have the Bat family, all three of them, and that's Team Penguin. So Brendan, what do you think?
I really liked it. I when it started, I'm like, I remember this one. So yeah, like it's Penguin in this show for me kind of is a bit like the '60s one, where I feel, particularly in the first season or two, he was overused, and like he's not my favorite villain. But this one, I think he's actually pretty good, and the team he puts together is entertaining. But my favorite part of the episode is would you call it like the B story, I guess, of yeah, like Dick and Barbara coming to terms with each other, and Batman having the realization of like, because you feel for Barbara in this episode, because
Yeah, she's got a point.
Yeah, she's been his partner for like a year or two, story wise at this point, and she's never gone to the Batcave. She doesn't know Bruce's secret identity. He hasn't taken her training, like, and this kid's just shown up and has, didn't even tell her that this had happened.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of a dick move on Bruce's part there. So, and he realizes, like, okay, look, if we're going to do this, we need to work as a team, and I need to bring Barbara in. And they're in the Batmobile, and Barbara's like, where are we going? And then she realizes they're in the Batcave, and then, as you said, it leads to that great scene of the unmasking and everything, and just the way Bruce doesn't even move. He's like, it's Barbara Gordon, because of course Bruce would know who it was the whole time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really liked that element, and how you see them training together in the Batcave with those big mech things that they have to take out, and they're used in a lot of Batman stories and stuff, the robots in the Batcave to train with. And I will say, just randomly, because I watched this episode with Henry, the most excited he was when the Team Penguin car, or vehicle that they use, is an old ice cream truck. Henry is 100% convinced that that's Snowy from Bat Wheels. Could not convince him otherwise. Like, no, like, that's Snowy. I'm like, well, it's just an ice cream truck. No, that's Snowy from Bat Wheels. It's got the same ice cream cone on top. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. It's Snowy, all right. He was overjoyed that Snowy was in this episode. But look, the the Team Penguin side of things, I think, is very entertaining, and things like that can have sometimes like they're just they're more stupid than entertaining and not that great. Was obviously Killer Moth was brought in for comedic relief and everything for the story, but his arc is really really fun. He's a joke and pretty useless, and he morphs into this huge killer moth and becomes this really really big threat. And I thought the design aesthetic for the fully formed killer moth was cool as well. Yeah, it's just a really fun, you can kind of switch your brain off and just have a fun not to lean back on Batman the Animated Series, but you can just have a really fun Batman adventure with all three members of the Bat family and one major rogue and a bunch of as you said, sort of B-level rogues, but they all work really well together, I think.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think this was a blast. I had a great time with it. It was such a weird assortment of villains, but that was the fun of it. You mentioned Ragdoll, who I had forgotten all about until he popped back up. I was like, oh yeah, this guy. Because
Arrow from memory, wasn't he? They used Ragdoll in Arrow, I think, at one point.
They used Ragman.
Oh, okay.
Ragdoll, I think, was created for this show.
Okay.
I believe. Somebody out there, J-Oz, tell me. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure Ragdoll was created for the show. Ragman is a hero. It's a different thing. Okay. And I think it's because they couldn't use the Scarecrow, so Ragdoll kind of sort of became...
Yeah, similar to how Harvey couldn't be in it, so Clayface and the cop became the thing.
Yeah. But like, I really liked Ragdoll in this, and I can't remember if I liked him the first time. So I'm very curious if I am being consistent or not. I have no idea. But regardless, like, I had a ton of fun with this. I love the idea of Penguin putting together this team, and it's like all these kind of doofuses who would say yes as opposed to like the good villains who would say no. But what I thought was really brilliant about it was like making it about the two families, essentially like Penguin's new family trying to work together, and then Batman's new family and them trying to work together, and like seeing how those teams are evolving. I thought that was a really smart way to do it. Like knowing that, okay, we introduced Robin, we already know there's Batgirl. Let's tackle that head on in the second episode of the season. And then how do we mirror that with the villains? Oh, let's have Penguin put together a team too. I thought that was really smart. The Killer Moth stuff I thought was really funny. Again, like, I don't have some sort of like long love for Killer Moth, so it doesn't bother me that they did a weird thing with him. And I thought that what they did with him was really clever, especially then when he mutated at the end. I was like, oh, that's funny. Like, cause he's so useless. And then all of a sudden he becomes this really scary, terrifying monster at the end. So yeah, I thought this was a blast. I really had a good time with it.
I just remembered too how when he comes out as Killer Moth, because the rest of the Team Penguin were kind of like, we're out. This is ridiculous. Like, you're a terrible leader, blah, blah, blah. And then Killer Moth comes out and they're like, it's like he's going to take over, but he's this Killer Moth, this huge bulking beast of a thing, but he's still got the nerdy Killer Moth voice, and he's just like, you better listen to what Penguin has to say. Like, he's still going to stand behind Penguin as the leader, even though he could take them all out.
I know. I appreciated his loyalty to the Penguin, because the Penguin gave him the job when no one else would. So that's nice. And I definitely also had the same thought as you, as I'm like, yeah, Penguin in this is a lot like the 60s where he just shows up a lot.
Yes.
But when you do something like this with him, it was really a good time.
Yeah.
So yeah, Team Penguin. What do you think? Final thought, letter grade?
Like I said, just a really fun, enjoyable Batman episode. Oh, look, I don't know. I'm tempted to go like maybe A to A minus. I mean, it's really, really, it's not, I think for me, because I know what's coming, and to me, there's a lot of A plus stuff coming up. But yeah, I reckon, this is probably an A minus.
Yeah, I would agree. I think A minus feels right because it's good. I don't have a lot of complaints. Yeah, A minus. I'm with that.
Cool.
All right, excellent, Team Penguin. Well, up next is the return of Clayface. Clayfaces. So that'll be fun next time we get around to it. It will not be on the next episode when we talk about the Superman experience, but maybe the one after that. So for those 2 of you who are actually watching along with us, that's your homework.
Something else I thought of too that I I haven't messaged you about yet, but I was thinking this morning watching the Clayface app because we were planning on doing 2 reviews and then we didn't, but I'd already watched the other one. Is it in the lead up to Clayface, the movie coming out this year? It'd be interesting to do an episode revisiting Feet of Clay, the 2-part.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be cool.
Because we haven't, it's been years since we've watched any Batman the Animated Series stuff, but just to do an episode fully focused on Feet of Clay, I reckon it'd be really interesting in the lead up to the movie coming out.
Yeah, I think that would be really fun. I just rewatched it a couple weeks ago and it holds up. But yeah, it's a good call. All right, well, next time, Clay Faces, and we'll just keep on trucking through this. We will finish one of these days. But last but certainly not least, we got to check in with you, fine feathered finks. So why don't we crack open the Wayne Manor mailbox? It's time again for the Wayne Manor mailbox.
You've got mail.
Darren, what is a letter for me?
Maybe temporary.
She wrote a letter.
You're one hell of a messenger. This is all, Master Wayne.
All right, we only got a few, Brendan, but let's clean out the mailbox. First one here is from David. It says, Dear Holy BatCast, I've been very behind on my episodes, so aside from my own best wishes for Jamie's retirement, my feedback would mostly be about the Dark Knight Returns episode. So that was episode number 498. He says, near the end of the episode, you were talking about Batman movie commentaries that have yet to be done. The good news is The Dark Knight, in fact, all of the Nolan trilogy had been done with a commentary, and same for the 4 Burton Schumacher films. The bad news is one of the 2 solo Batman films left to be done is the first one, and to date, only Matt Reeves' one, which would both be long and not too liked by any of the hosts. Maybe you should do one for the 1966 Adam West one, ironically the shortest solo Batman movie. It would make a great set with episode 74 when you reviewed the movie. And then I'd strongly recommend you skip commentary for the Batman 2022 and make schedules to do a Holy BatCast commentary for Zack Snyder's Justice League instead. That's my other big pipe dream. I know it's super long, but remember, Zack gave us a natural cutoff point at the end of part 4. There are 6 of us, not 5. There's no us without him. So the commentary could be cut into 2 parts and even recorded separately if you have to. I just think it's too good of a blockbuster epic to not have this esteemed podcast really spend time gushing about it in real time. Best wishes to you all, David. Thanks, David. So, yeah, I guess we've done commentaries for every solo Batman movie except Batman the movie from 1966 and The Batman.
I can't believe we haven't done a commentary for that.
For which one? For Batman
66? Yeah,
I know.
We must have just done a review for it because I know there was an anniversary, a couple of years ago? We must have just reviewed it.
I mean, it was 1966 this is 2026. So this is an anniversary year if we wanted to finally do it.
Hell, man, I'm down for that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm shocked that we haven't either, but we just haven't. As for the Batman, I don't know if anyone even wants to listen to that, so I don't think we would do it.
I know where I got my wires crossed. We did commentaries for the pilot.
Yes, for the first 2 episodes.
The 50th. Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking it was.
I don't think it was the 50th. I want to say it was like the 55th. The 55th,
yeah, that's probably
maybe?
right too. Yeah,
2021. That sounds right.
That long ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we wouldn't have done it in 2016.
No.
So yeah, I think that's it. We did commentary for the first 2 episodes, the Riddler episodes, for that anniversary. But yeah, this year the movie does turn, oh my God, is that 60?
Yeah.
60 years old. So that is a good idea.
Hell yeah. I'm absolutely down for that.
Great. Add it to the list. And then, as for Zack Snyder's Justice League, we did do the 2-parter with The Fire Rises, and it wasn't a commentary, but we went pretty in depth. After that, Brendan, I magically caught up on my podcast, and I did go back and listen to our original review.
I see that.
And it was interesting, like what we said that was the same
Mhm.
And then what had changed. The funniest thing was during that whole episode of Jamie being like, well, this being a huge success, we're going to get more. He was so confident. He's like, no, I think we're going to get more. But anyway, yeah. So we did do a nice deep dive for that movie's 5th anniversary. Yeah, maybe if we're still doing this in 5 more years. Yeah, maybe for the 10th. I think that would be good. Yeah, and again, for the Batman, I don't think anybody wants to hear that. So I don't imagine we would do that. Yeah. But anyway, thank you for catching up.
And I'm certainly be interesting. Like I'd go into it with the attitude of not, I wouldn't be going, I'm just going to shit all over this. Like, I think it would be interesting. It would just mean you'd have to watch it again.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly, in the lead up to the Batman 2, like I'd be down for it. And like I said, I wouldn't be a dick about it. I'd be very, I'd go in with a very open mind. Let's just say that.
I would try. I would do my best. The thing is, usually you're a bigger dick about it than me.
Yeah, that's the thing. But it'd need to be balanced. Like it'd be you and me, and then 1 or 2 people who genuinely love the movie as well. Like, yeah, I don't think it wouldn't be fair if it was just you and me doing it.
Well,
I genuinely think it could lead to some interesting conversations during the movie.
Yeah, it could. Anyway, all right, and I'm sure Jamie appreciates the well wishes because I'm sure he's still listening out there. All right, next email here is from Tyler. It says, hey, folks, can we just have Alfred back already? Bad enough he suffered one of the worst deaths in superhero comics history, and I refuse to believe that anyone other than DC editorial wants him gone. So what's the holdup? It's been 7 years now, and the stupidest of deaths has yet to be undone. The death of Damian Wayne, which, contrary to Alfred, was a death of which I very much approved, was undone in like 3 months. So why is our beloved Alfred still gone? Would anyone currently reading comics in 2026 be upset if Alfred was just suddenly there again, like he never left, with no story explanation given to how? At this point, I wouldn't. And as long as I'm doing my old man rant, it's long past time to bring back Jim Gordon in the role where he belongs, Gotham City's police commissioner. And let's go back to Wayne Manor while we're at it. Seriously. Thanks for the great show, guys. Best regards, Tyler. Tyler, I'm with you. I'm with you on all of these things. And I'm sure plenty of other Batman fans are as well. Honestly, I think I've even said as much as like, I am enjoying the new Batman run. I really am. But like, there are things like all the things you mentioned where I'm like, why is Alfred still dead? Why is Jim Gordon not the commissioner? Like, come on. Like, I know that people want to mix things up, but at a certain point, it's like you can still tell interesting stories and still have Commissioner Gordon, like, and Alfred's been gone far too long. So no, I guess I'm just repeating everything you said, but I agree with everything. So yeah, I don't understand why they couldn't have done that, especially because they did just relaunch with the new Batman #1. Like, why not get it back to some normalcy there?
Well, I'm not reading it. I mean, obviously knew about Alfred. I didn't know it'd been 7 years. Holy hell.
That is crazy. But now that you say that, I'm like, yeah, I guess it has been a while.
But I didn't know the Jim Gordon thing. I didn't know he wasn't. He's not dead. He's just not commissioner.
He's not dead. He's not dead. He is not commissioner. It is Vandal Savage is the police commissioner of Gotham.
Really?
Yeah.
Vandal Savage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which again, to me, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's kind of interesting, right? You can tell interesting stories that way, but not for like years, like just do it as an arc, but then wrap it up and get Jim Gordon back.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
So anyway, I'm with you, Tyler. I wish they would have reverted some of those things with Batman #1. I don't know why they're so stubborn about it. All right. And this one here is from Benjamin. It says, hey, Batcasters, I hope you guys are good. Based on how James Gunn's DCU is shaping up, or rather not shaping up, would you guys prefer a brand new slate altogether without Gunn, or would you like to keep Gunn as his position as co-CEO? Especially for Batman, I personally don't want James Gunn's best version of Damian Wayne Brave and the Bold, let alone his worst, but that's just me. Second question, if you completely start with a new CEO and a new slate, what would be the first few movies in your slate? Would you continue to do the same thing you guys did on your hypothetical DC slate before Gunn's first announcement for Gods and Monsters? Keep the bat signal lit, Benjamin. Thanks, Benjamin. Oh, so Benjamin, you don't sound like a fan of James Gunn. Interesting. Well, I'm going to let you go first, Brendan. I guess the first question is, would you rather start with a whole new slate, or would you like for James Gunn to keep his position as co-CEO?
I mean, to me, Gunn hasn't dropped the ball yet. Like, he hasn't done anything to piss me off. Or, made... I mean, yeah, some of it's very James Gunn, of like Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad and things like that. But, I mean, he won me over with Superman. Honestly, he really did. Like, I loved that movie. I love that movie. It's my equal favorite Superman movie of all time, with Man of Steel. So, and so far what he's promising me is more of that in terms of the big screen stuff. So, I'm a little bit lukewarm on Supergirl, as I've mentioned before, but I'm still looking forward to it. But that's not his movie. But again, as we mentioned earlier, like I'm all about Man of Tomorrow. Like, I can't wait for that movie and to see it come together. And like I said, it's my most anticipated movie of next year. So I'm happy to keep riding the wave. Like I said, I have my reservations with things, and they're mostly around Batman and his lack thereof thus far. But yeah, I'm happy. I don't see a reason to change. At the moment, it's a case of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The DCEU was broke many, many, many times, and they kept surging ahead. And this one's okay so far. Let's just see what happens.
And we're still so early into it. We only have one real movie, and then we have a couple TV projects. So yeah, like, let's not make any rash decisions unless you just hated Superman.
Creature Commando. I mean, Creature Commando is, is it part of it? Is it not? I mean, technically it is, but it's a cartoon. Like, I'm not reading too much into it. At no point have I watched any other project and gone, geez, I wish I watched Creature Commandos.
So I mean, I'm with you. Like, I've at least enjoyed everything that we've gotten as part of the new slate and loved some of it. And none of it has really, like you said, let me down. I think that it's all really good, especially Superman, especially with the way Man of Tomorrow and Supergirl are shaping up. I think that, like, I want to see where this goes. I would keep on moving forward. Like we talked about a little earlier, it's like, it's good that we should probably let go of that initial slate, because it's obvious that things have evolved and changed, and that just seems normal. It happens. And so, it's like, but the things that have fallen off the radar, none of it really breaks my heart, so I'm okay with it.
Not at all.
So it's like, yeah, like, I want to keep going. And my biggest frustration, and I think is the same as yours, is Batman. Like, yes, I respect what you said earlier, Brendan. And I do even agree to an extent of, like, it is nice that the Superman corner of the DC universe is getting the love, before bringing in Batman. I think that's great. I love Superman too. I love Metropolis. I love that world. I like the extra pieces of the DC universe that is being brought into that world. I love all that stuff. I'm a Batman fan. I dedicate too much of my life loving Batman, talking about Batman, collecting Batman. I have a Batman podcast I've been doing for 12 years now. I love Batman. I want to be excited about a new Batman, and there just seems to be no rush to do that. That's my frustration.
Yes.
I want Batman. And obviously the Reeveverse is not scratching that itch for me. And so I would love to see some forward momentum on Batman in the shared universe. So that's my biggest frustration, but it is not enough for me to be like, fire James Gunn. I can't, because his Superman was really good. And again, I really like a lot of the other stuff he's been doing. So I'm still riding with it, and I'm still excited about what is coming up in the future. I just hope that Batman is a part of that sooner, not later.
And I was just thinking again while you were talking and reflecting back on what I was saying before, like, how cool would it be, come June, July next year, right? And we have, in the space of 3 years, this really, I guess, non-conventional, but like, and again, not Superman, but like super trilogy, Superman,
Yeah.
Supergirl, and Man of Tomorrow.
Yep.
Like, like I'm not over the moon excited for Supergirl, but I'm going in wanting to be wowed, and like I want to walk out going, okay, I was wrong. That was fantastic. Like, I loved that. That was so cool. And I'm already excited for Man of Tomorrow. I would love for, by in just over 12 months' time to be looking at 3 amazing super movies going, holy shit, like we've got an amazing trilogy of super movies, and who saw that coming?
Yeah.
And that's my hope. So let the guy keep going.
Yep, I'm with you. I'm excited to see what's next. And then the other question is, let's say we were going to start fresh again. And again, I also feel like it's way too soon to start fresh again. Could you imagine?
There'd need to be radio silence for about 5 years.
Yeah, like could you imagine someone coming in a couple months and going, "Here's your new DC slate," all that stuff? Forget it. We couldn't. But if we're just saying hypothetically, right? Hypothetically, something happens and we were to do a new slate. Would we do what we did when we talked about it before Gun slate, or would we do something new? I mean, it would have to be something new, because I think a lot of our hypothetical slate before Gun was still tied to a lot of the previous DCEU. And I think that all of that is moot at this point.
Yeah, agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I would have to start a whole new slate. I mean, I'll tell you what I would do, and call me boring if you will, but like, I would start with a Superman film, a Batman film, and a Wonder Woman film. I would start there. Let's get the Trinity on the board, and within that thing, we can have nods and references and, supporting players from other corners of the DC universe. But like, yes, I would try to build it a little more conventionally. Again, maybe that's boring of me, but I'm like, no, if we were just walking in and nothing was in motion, I would just start there. Let's get a Superman, a Batman, and a Wonder Woman all set up and ready to go, and then we can expand the universe.
Here's a question. Would you be down for, like, so say for example, it was like, okay, we're starting again. We're starting fresh. Would you be interested in them being a period piece? So not necessarily set modern day, but like, not like 50s, 60s, but like, maybe 70s, 80s, like sort of set in a different time period.
Like for the entire universe?
Yeah.
Huh.
Just to really make it different.
Yeah, I mean, I would be open to it. Sure. Yeah.
It's just a thought that just popped into my head. I'm like, kind of just be cool to set it apart from everything else, is maybe make it period. Yeah.
I mean, I know that things like that have been batted around a little bit, not necessarily for the whole universe, but I remember, I've heard fans be like, oh, make a Batman movie set in the 40s or something like that. So, but to do like a whole universe set at another time, I think could be interesting. Yeah.
Just like my favorite movie from the DCEU was set in World War One. Like,
yeah.
Like I say, it wouldn't need to be that extreme, but just, maybe back a few decades, and, that old technology and things like that, just sort of see, it'd be interesting.
Right. No, I agree. I think that could be cool. I'm down. All right. Well, there you go. Thank you, Benjamin. And I got one more here. This one comes from Mark. Mark says, hey, Andy, Brendan, and company. I love the last episode about the action figures. Hearing you go through them all was such a joy, and it really took me back. I can vividly remember one birthday as a kid where I basically got everything Batman, the animated series related that you could imagine.
Yeah.
Figures, vehicles, the lot. So listening to you guys talk about them brought up all those memories. It genuinely put me in such a great mood that day. I always love the toy episodes and the unboxing videos, so I just wanted to say thank you for them. I've also included a link to the new Batman Lego game trailer. I know you guys aren't really gamers, but Brendan especially. But if you haven't already seen it, watch it with the sound on. There's something very specific about it that immediately made me think of you, and I think you'll absolutely get a kick out of it.
Hope you're doing well. You're talking about.
Yep. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for the podcast, Mark Hall. Thanks, Mark. And we definitely have watched the Lego Batman, was it Legacy of the Dark Knight? Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight trailer. It is a hoot because it uses Kiss from a Rose, and that is amazing. And I love it.
It was really cool.
That game is only like days away from coming out.
Yeah, Eric's very excited.
Yeah, it comes out this week, 5/22. So, we don't talk about video games as much as we should or as much as some people would like, but the Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight looks pretty darn awesome. And what's great about it is it is all encompassing. Like whatever your favorite era of Batman is, it is in this game. And I think that's awesome. I think that's super cool. Everybody's happy. But yes, the trailer with Kiss from a Rose, I thought was hysterical. And I'm glad that you love the toy episodes. We love doing them. They're so fun. I'm glad you're watching the toy unboxings on YouTube. I will say by the time this goes up, or maybe within a day or so, there is a Batman the Animated Series toy unboxing coming to the YouTube channel. So keep an eye out for that as well. But yeah, toys are fun, man.
Yeah. I will say, because we recorded that episode a week earlier than what you guys heard it. And we recorded it on we did it Sunday night, American time, Monday morning, Australian time. And the next day I had a bit of free time after a medical appointment before I had to start work. And I went into a secondhand toy store here in Brisbane that I haven't been to. I usually go sort of maybe every 4 to 6 months just to see what they got. And I shit you not, they had a wall of old original Batman figures in packet. And a huge chunk of it was Batman the Animated Series figures, and several of the ones we had talked about like 24 hours prior. On card, really reasonably priced. And I was just sending you and Jay photos of could you, the timing was bizarre.
Yeah.
And it was a real thrill to see some of them again in that condition. Like I said, literally a day after we talked about it. It was really, really cool.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, a lot of people shared photos of some of their favorite figures based on that episode. And there's I think Julian Chan shared his Mondo figure of Mr. Freeze that just was freaking amazing. And yeah, I loved seeing the excitement from people sharing figures and memories and things like that. And you didn't buy any when you happened to come across them the next day?
I didn't, no.
Okay. Yeah, very responsible.
I had to be a bit more responsible with my money, but they had the utility belt Batman or whatever,
combat belt Batman.
Combat belt Batman. They had him. They had the Robin that you talked about. I didn't get those, but I did get I will say, bit of a tangent, but I did get a bargain. The big figs that they released for Batman versus Superman. Not the huge ones, but the big figs. I don't recall ever seeing at the time, because I would have gotten him, but the big fig of Armored Batman from BVS.
That's right. Yeah.
And he was just sort of on the ground near this wall of figures. I was losing my mind. And he didn't have a price on him. And admittedly, he was a bit dusty, but he was still still in the box. All the tires were still on, he was brand new. And I just went to the guy at the counter. I'm like, how much is this one? And I was expecting, $60 to $80 maybe. I had no intentions of buying him. I was just curious to see what he was valued at. And he goes, oh, he's a bit dusty. $25. I was like, yep. I will absolutely take that off your hands for $25. So I didn't get any of the old school figures, but the BVS big fig of Armored Batman came home with me for the low price of $25. There's no way I was leaving him there for that price. And I looked on eBay and they're going for over $80 to $100. I'm like, Australian. Wow. Yes. I'm like, shit, yeah, $25, dude. You're coming home with me.
Oh, great. Love that. Another find.
God, I love talking about toys on this show. It's so fun.
I know. We always end up getting there. I showed you what I got.
Oh, yes, the Mr. Freeze.
Well, yes, and so, real quick, people, I had the Mr. Freeze statue from the WB store from Batman and Robin. I had it back in Florida. It got broken in the move. I ordered a replacement. It came broken as well. It was really frustrating. And so then I finally found a third one, and it came, and it was in impeccable condition. It was amazing. And it was actually a really good deal. So I got really lucky eventually, but there were 2 broken Mr. Freezes. But because I was looking for the replacement Mr. Freeze, I also came across the WB store statue of Robin from Batman and Robin, who was also shockingly cheap. And I was like, well, Mr. Freeze and Batman need someone to stand with. And so I got Robin too. So like my new guilty pleasure is like Batman and Robin merchandise. I don't know why. There's just like, because I was so checked out of that movie when it came out that like it feels new now when I like am not mad at it anymore. So like I've had so much fun like picking up random Batman and Robin merch, and these were so cool. And, they're in amazing condition. The Mr. Freeze one that I did end up getting had never been opened.
Oh, wow.
So
didn't know that. Yeah. That's cool.
Well, that's why I felt like I was taking a risk when I ordered it, because like it said it had never been opened, but the pictures were just of the box. So I was like, I can't be sure that whatever is in that box is intact.
Mm.
But again, the price was pretty good. And I think that's why the price was pretty good, is because people want to know what they're buying. And I was like, oh, what the hell? I'll take a chance. I did get refunded for the one that came broken. And so I didn't lose any money on it. And so it came and I opened it up. I was like, well, no wonder they didn't even check to see if it was okay in here. It's never been opened. Mm. And I opened it up and it was in perfect condition. It looks great. So I was like, thank God. And then I got, I got tricked into buying a Robin too. Tricked by no one but myself. But yeah, anyway.
And probably encouraged by your wife.
Well, not discouraged. So all right. Well, yes, we do love talking toys, collectibles, things like that. And there we go again. But that is all we got in the Wayne Manor mailbox. If you've got an email for us, you can send that to holybatcast@rf4rm.com. I will answer more emails next time before I put out that Superman Experience episode. So yeah, send me some stuff to answer so you get a full length episode. Otherwise it's going to be short. But that's all right. So yeah, send your questions, your messages, whatever. Send those to holybatcast@rf4rm.com. We love hearing from you guys. We love the random questions. We love the thoughts. So thank you to everybody who did that. But let's wrap it up, Brendan. Always fun. Another episode of Holy BatCast. But appreciate you finding the time, especially with your crazy life right now. But it's always good.
Yeah, it's all good. Like I can always try and make the time for you, and you have a special place in my heart. Yeah.
Thank you, Brendan.
The kids need to know that where they rank in my when it comes to my priorities.
There still needs to be time for us, no matter what. We can't let the kids destroy our love.
No, God no. We need to make time for us.
Anyway, anywhere that people can keep up with you.
You can find me on Facebook in the Real Fans groups and on Letterboxd.
Awesome. Well, anyway, I already told you all where to find me. Thanks for joining us. Please do follow or subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. If you love the show, something else you can do to support us is to rate and review us. A nice rating goes a long way. It helps us out and it makes me feel good. So I would love it if you would leave a 5-star rating wherever you listen to us. Again, find the show on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, especially YouTube. Again, I'm putting more stuff up there, and I have some surprises coming your way, so check those out. Just search for Holy BatCast. And if you've got something for the Wayne Manor mailbox, that email address, again, is holybatcast@rf4rm.com. Our theme music was created by the talented Gaurav Venkateswar. You can find his work at gvtunes.com. And that'll do it. On behalf of Brendan, I've been Andy. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Holy BatCast is not affiliated with Warner Brothers or DC Entertainment. The views and opinions shared by the participants are theirs and theirs alone and do not represent the companies or organizations they happen to work for. All right, first email here comes from David. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm fine. I can get through this. I'm a professional.